Wherever I go, the wind follows. And the wind, it smells like rain.
Welcome back to A Stark Contrast, where we discuss the differences and similarities between Marvel Comics and their MCU counterparts. And we are your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody. It is hot in Southern California.
It is smoking hot.
I am exhausted, tired.
Don't like it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Well, thankfully, we're in the confines of a home with air blowing. It's going to be a long summer, but what can you do but make the most of it? And speaking of, I picked you up something during a recent trip where I got gross at Disneyland.
No!
Yes, but this one's cool, buddy. Like, this is like, you know me, I'm like, no. Geoffrey needs the cool shit.
Now I feel bad because I also got you something, but I forgot it at home.
Oh, really?
And I'm not going to tell you what it is until I actually bring it.
All right, catch. Woo!
Oh, shit. Oh my God! It's
an air tag. It's not air. Well, I guess it's an air. What do you call it? Pull tag.
Pull tag.
And it's blue. It's very new from Avengers Campus. It says Stark Industries on it. I thought it was one of the coolest things that they've made.
This is actually really cool because it's going on one of my bags immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going on my
your travel bag.
My carry-on or my check-in?
There you go.
Easily.
Hey. Yeah.
Yes.
It was an immediate purchase. I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Because then I could be like what's on your bag? I was like, it has a blue Stark Industries pull tag. Yeah. If it's removed, I'm suing.
Yeah. I found it at the Spider-Man store, funny enough. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is sick. Wow, this is actually
really
cool.
Like really good. Top tier for them. Because, a lot of this stuff is like gaudy or it's a little mismatched a bit. Yeah. That, I was like...
And not like sometimes it's like not timeless and it's just like a collectible and you're like but this is very useful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I got one too, so we're matchy. So when it comes down to the latest news as we get into this episode, so I don't know if you had heard this, Jeff, but with the return to theaters on September 25th, Avengers Endgame has officially gotten its official title. So it's going to theaters as the Endgame Encore.
Wow.
Yeah, so a ticket should be on sale any week now. I'm curious how it's going to turn out. Apparently, this is the one where... Are they going to add deleted scenes? I can't remember what they had said.
Yeah. Like never before seen footage. Yeah. They're trying to beat their own peoples in Avatar, man. Yeah, they're trying to beat that.
They want to beat that record. They want that #1 slot until Doomsday comes along. Yeah. Possibly. And... Daredevil, Born Again, Season 3 spoilers.
Immediately.
Holy crap. I opened the app and it was like, boom.
Same. Immediately the day after we recorded.
I was like, all right. Come on. So no official word yet. We're not going to say it here, but just FYI to those of you who use social media, you probably have seen it already, but some cast are coming back to the show.
Yeah, it's electric.
Yeah. There you go, Geoffrey. Oh, it's so good.
All right, I'm ending the podcast.
And so, in other news, a boatload of updates from Marvel Rivals, including balancing 80% of the current character roster as the new season prepares for launch, just dropped. Crazy stuff. I mean, it was a lot.
It's a lot.
I think I watched and read all of it, but I'm still like, I feel like I'm not informed. Like, it just feels like it's going to be even more when you actually play. But they're introducing Jubilee as a strategist, aka a healer, and Red Hood, who some of you may have seen during Ironheart. And so that character has not been confirmed fully yet, but he is rumored to be a Vanguard. So he's going to be a tank, which is very interesting. So
that is interesting.
Giving his powers, and he does carry guns as well. I'm kind of thinking he might be a twist between Doctor Strange and Black Cat, maybe with a little Punisher.
Yeah, that checks. That checks.
Sounds like a lot.
They're always going to be OP at release.
I don't know about that. But the main non-playable character villain is very much Apocalypse, which seems timely.
Crazy.
Yeah. So he's.
but then again, he'd probably be OP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no way. Like he would have to be a boss mode, you know what I mean? Like they did the same approach with Doom because he was the first season, and then Kingpin came along, and like all these guys, they bring them in, but only for storyline purposes. And so Apocalypse is no different. And but they could show up down the road. I mean, people are always like more villains, but we'll see if Apocalypse actually joins those ranks. And the new season launched yesterday, July 10th, with a slew of new releases to follow in the coming weeks as they ramp up for their Avengers Age of Ultron event. So they're still doing the MCU thing. They haven't quit on it, but it's a little late. They pushed it a little bit, but it's going to be a good time. And speaking of recent news, it was revealed that, I don't know if you've seen this. This is super new. This is like today new.
Oh, was
as
it?
Of our recording. So it was revealed that Michael Waldron will serve as writer on Disney's Nova series. So they're officially, I guess, going through with this. They haven't said anything more, but of course, Nova
I did not
Corps.
see it. I did not see this at all today.
Yeah. So Michael served as executive producer and writer on the Loki series, as well as writing credits on both Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Avengers Doomsday. So, I mean, I guess that means we're definitively getting a Nova series now, which is fantastic because that means we're going galactic again.
Yeah.
And this is
where's it announced?
They've only said the Waldron thing. So it was on WGA. So Writers Guild of America. Like his credits just popped up like Nova.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because I thought too, I was like, what? There's nothing out
like not
there.
even like on screen time?
No,
or
but it was WGA. So I was like, oh.
It's got to be legit. Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll hear about that. It's probably one of the things that they'll announce at either San Diego or D23.
Maybe they'll announce who they casted. Yeah.
Exactly. Which would be fantastic because, I mean, I'm not a huge Nova fan, but I know that unlocks all the potential of Guardians all over again. Like we could see some of those characters come back. We'll see new characters that just never made the cut.
Oh, okay.
And it brings in that whole universe again. So I'm super stoked for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. And so as Geoffrey and I were actually talking about before recording, X-Men 97 has officially dropped, and we're officially 4 episodes deep as of the recording of this episode. And officially the season half point, which is also crazy. And so I actually did a 3-episode review with my friend Ronan Unchained on his podcast.
Woo!
You can see it on YouTube or where you stream your shows. And we chatted about literally the first 3. It was like an hour and a half.
Wow.
And it was with a third mic as well, Darren. And so we chatted about it. We're doing it every Thursday, apparently. He goes live. So
it's live.
It's live. Yeah.
Wow.
So schedule persisting and allowing, I'll be on every Thursday with him throughout the season. And then Jeff and I are actually going to talk about the entire season after all is said and done. And I believe that's August 12th.
Okay.
Ish. So mid-August. So we'll do our own recap right here on this show. But in the meanwhile, so top level thoughts about the season.
I mean,
so far,
we talked
Jeff?
about it off mic a little bit. They're the amount of storylines that they can do and the amount of things that they can achieve is so insane. So we're in the 4th episode and they've already dropped a pretty crazy bomb.
Yep.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I have no idea where. For me, I'm like I have no idea where they go from here. I kind of do, but I'm also just like anything could happen. Yeah. Like they're pissed. Everyone's pissed.
I love that from a perspective of your type of fan who's not necessarily in the know of all this stuff, let alone these characters.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot to the team's credit, like that you're vibing with it and it makes sense. You know, that's the thing. Because that's what I've always worried about with X-Men, and I think I said this on the other show, is that what worried me initially is that, you know, aside the departure of the original showrunner, I was kind of like, they're getting really big, really fast with the story. Like they're expanding it like intensely. Yeah. So much to the point that is it going to get convoluted and just confusing? But they've done a really good job.
They did. Like 4 episodes in, it spans across 3 different timelines.
Yeah, it's crazy. Potentially 4 right now.
So it's just like, all right. And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
But I think what I like is that they enforce that 97, because the show is X-Men 97, they've enforced that 97 is the year, the main year, timeline for them.
Exactly.
Like, I need to get you guys back to 1997. Like, oh, okay, yeah.
My coworker Tyler, shout out to Tyler. He said at one point he was like, I thought it was so funny that they were like, we have to get them back to the saddest point of their life or whatever, the 90s. I was like,
Apocalypse said that. Yeah. Oh yeah, when he was like just like the machine head. He's like, we have to go back to the 90s. Like, all right, damn.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so crazy. But fantastic job. I'm really excited. But yeah, even me, as familiar as I am with these stories, I'm also like, where are they going?
It's ambitious, right?
It's very ambitious.
From your point of view,
oh my God.
Like, it is super ambitious.
Like we were saying earlier, the character lineup alone right now. Yeah. We're talking Magnus, we're talking Apocalypse, and Ensabanor. So they're not just bringing him in. Because they didn't cover a lot of that. Like, majority of that, they never touched in the original series. He was just Apocalypse, you know what I mean? And then to introduce and go to Ramata and Kang is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what? And it still makes sense. Again, it still makes sense, and you're still able to follow along, which is tremendous.
Yeah, we got an X-Force.
Yes, even that. Like, you literally cannot skip the intros because each intro is different. And for instance, episode 2 had the X-Force intro, and they introduced X Factor into the mix.
It's crazy.
And then they also Easter egged Generation X, which is a Team Jubilee is on eventually.
And Weapon X.
And Weapon X. And all these other potential teams. And so it's like, holy crap, it's so good. It's genuinely amazing. And so really excited to see what happens. Because, we're officially at the halfway point. Still waiting for my boy, but, I'll see. But related and unrelated, be sure to get your grub on with the special themed meals at X-Men for X-Men 97 at Dave's Hot Chicken. Okay, so Jeff, let me tell you real quick. I have never had Dave's Hot Chicken in my life. I've had Dave's Hot Chicken twice in the last 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, let me try it. Let me try it. And I got it and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. So I was going to post this on our social. I haven't yet. I pulled Storm from my first one.
Oh, nice.
It's actually quite good. It's nothing fancy. It's just the shell that goes on top of the plastic thing. And you get a mystery figure. But I'm going to give Storm to a friend, and I pulled Cyclops. I don't know if you can see him. He's over there.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, Cyclops. There's only 4, so Jean, Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine are available right now. And also, Little Caesars has their Webberoni pizza.
Did you get it?
I got it.
You got the box?
It's actually really good. Yeah, I trashed it already. I'm sorry.
You took a picture of it, though?
I did. No, yeah. And so I'll be honest, it was better than the regular pizza, to be honest. Because they did something. Remember I mentioned in the other episode, like they did something to the cheese that I don't know what it is, but it's pretty tasty, let me just say. So get you some Marvel-themed food, man.
Hell yeah.
So all that said, let's dive into this episode's character study. But first, reminder, we are not experts and we don't claim to be. We're just a couple of nerds nerding out. And in this episode, we're nerding out all about Peter Parker, Ben Reilly, Spider-Man Noir.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta find our Nick Cage again.
I know. I have to
find it. Yeah. I didn't prep. And so related episodes to this one, of course, are Spider-Man Noir Season 1 review, as well as Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, and Spider-Man 2099 due to the Spider-Verse films. And so Spider Noir himself, he was created by David Hein, Fabrizi Salposki, Carmine Di Giandomenico, and Marco Djurjevic. And so the first appearance of this character, Jeff, I think you're going to be stunned by all this information you're going to learn right now. So this is the first appearance of Spider-Man Noir, number 1, February 2009.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the first appearance?
So he's been around for a bit, but not nearly as long as you might have thought. Yeah.
Wow.
So 2009. And the issue title itself, of course, Spider-Man Noir.
Wow, that's funny. A Spider-Man variant that's 1920s.
Yeah.
But it came out in 2009.
In 2009.
You would have thought that'd be like one of the first variants.
Oh, yeah. Never a concept until 2009.
Wow.
Which is incredible to me. And so...
See, I can't even tell you. I'm not even...
You going to guess the cover price?
Anything past like the 80s?
Yeah. Oh, it's a doozy. You're going to be like, what the hell?
I'm like, I say, oh yeah, $1.50.
All
yeah, right. This is post the crisis, right?
Oh, yeah. We have moved on to $3.99.
Wow.
For this issue on the rack.
Wow.
Yeah. And so now, however, you can obtain number 1 for $460 for CGC 9.6.
Okay.
And on eBay, a CGC 9.8 newsstand edition is a bit more for $2,113. And so, first and foremost, cover variants for the series do exist. So that immediately changes the game. Cover A will be more than cover B, etc. But regarding newsstand versus direct edition, so we've talked about this very minimally. We mentioned in an episode before, jewelry store versions that they just had this insert and they were meant to target certain audiences. But newsstand editions, like the one that's on eBay, most comics historically were sold at newsstands and places that you would find magazines until 1979 when direct edition comics became a thing. And so historically they were printed with a UPC symbol on the comic. So you know, if you took it up to the counter or whatever, they would scan it. And so it would go here on the bottom left corner. And so direct editions, however, starting in 1979, comic publishers began selling direct editions to hobby shops dedicated to selling comics. And so initially those books still had the UPC symbol with a slash through it or something, but then it was later replaced with black and white art. So you would see like Spider-Man's head like in a little white box or something. And so that even determines how much the book is worth. So a newsstand edition of number 1 costs... 4 times as much as a regular edition.
That's crazy.
Just because it's a different print, which is, you know, interesting and something to look at. And then the lowest graded side, short box, there is none. There are none of these on short box. Yeah, because it's relatively modern. So people aren't going to have a 2.0 or something for a 2009 book. It doesn't make sense. On eBay, you can get a CGC 9.8, which is still the highest graded. So that's all you're going to get on eBay. $250. Not too bad, especially if you like this character. And it's an excellent series. So fully advocate. Fair market value for the comic, anywhere between $350 to $425. You're not getting stiffed. Raw, you're looking at about $100 to $150 for the issue, and there are approximately only 1,482 of these comics graded, which isn't a lot for a book that's 16 years old, but it might be changing now, now that the series is coming out. So, of course, what's your first exposure to this character?
Yeah, has to be Into the Spider-Verse.
Wow, what did you think when he popped up on screen?
I like the idea that he's always in black and white.
Yeah.
Like anything noir is so cool.
I love it.
He's in a trench coat and a hat, which is amazing. I do like his mask. It's, you know, the black kind of like ski mask with goggles. And then that line he says, he's like, how is your jacket like moving? We're in the basement. Wherever I go, the wind follows.
He's so dramatic all the time, and it's a bit different than the comic book version, but it is still
and it's also
familiar.
It's Nick Cage. Yeah.
So for me, I really don't know. I think I jumped on board when the comic dropped. Actually,
really?
Yeah.
09?
I think I did, which is crazy because it was kind of like, oh, here's this new title, and I liked this artist.
Yes.
So I was kind of like, okay, let me read it, and I love noir stuff. Like I'm so into
it's
noir.
so cool.
I love it. I think I mentioned it in our Punisher episode, but Johnny B was in a series with Milo Ventimiglia, my secret husband, and it was called Mob City. It's a noir show. And it was fantastic. And he did say, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. That it's not, it's like 1930s, 40s mobster New York.
Yeah.
So, such a vibe. Loved it. Yeah. So I think I was with him from the get-go. But as far as this character goes, there are trading cards of him. The information that I'm going to read is from a 2022 Marvel Metal Universe set. And so this is pretty cut and dry. In the midst of the Great Depression, reporter Peter Parker scoured New York's criminal underbelly looking for story leads. He found a spider idol. When he examined the idol, a swarm of spiders emerged and some bit Parker, giving him wall-crawling powers. Parker used his abilities in his quest against the underworld. So, yeah, it's a familiar story, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
It's just set during the Depression, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the comic book origin of this character, first we're going to talk about his first appearance. And so Peter Parker, Spider-Man Noir. The story of Noir takes place on Earth 90214, home to many of a character from the original 616 continuity. And so in Spider-Man Noir, it's January 1933, and if real history is to help shape the story any, unemployment rate had risen to 25%, and about 1/3 of farmers had lost their land, and 9,000 of its 25,000 banks had gone out of business. That's real life.
Yeah.
So they adapted that to the comic almost immediately. And even then, they were still approximately 2 months away from the worst part of the Depression. So in the comic, police are called to the Daily Bugle, having received a call from someone claiming to be J. Jonah Jameson and that he'd been shot. So he was shot. And they race to JJ's office and find Spider-Man with a handgun. JJ slumped over in his chair, shot and bloody. Photographs by Ben Urich scattered across the desk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So the comic has Ben Urich in it, which gives it another layer, which, you'll find some similarities as we go along here. And so a flashback takes you back to 3 weeks earlier when Urich shot the photos that were on JJ's desk. And they feature May Parker, nothing shy of an activist, speaking up against the times that they were forced into poverty. So back in the day, she was a whippersnapper. She used to talk to the people, and she used to advocate for better living for all of them. And so her speech gets her into some hot water with a trio of mobsters watching on, which leads to May's nephew, poor Peter Parker, to step in and trying to protect his aunt. And it doesn't go well. He gets tar beat out of him. He's like, you guys better stop picking on my aunt. And they're like, yeah, what do you know, kid? And they just beat him up. And so we later learn that Peter theorizes that Uncle Ben was killed by the Goblins mob.
Wow.
And that kind of got people killed in this city. And so Urich and Parker then head to one of the hottest speakeasies in town, the Black Cat, where they meet the owner, Felicia Hardy. And so just for your reference, Jeff, this is what Black Cat looks like in the comic.
Wow.
So Felicia Hardy,
yeah,
very reminiscent of Lee Jun Lee, and so in a weird way, but you can tell, of course, they played homage to her. And so Peter wonders why they're all there at all. He's like, why am I here in this club? I'm not old enough to drink. Why am I here with Ben Urich? Blah, blah, blah. And it's Urich's way of showing Peter that life simply isn't black and white. There aren't just good guys and bad guys, and they observe the patrons in the bar. And so Urich goes through every person standing around, and he points them out, and he's like, oh, that detective, he's schmoozing with the pimps, and then the mayor, he's talking to a lady of the night. So they're all corrupt is basically what he's trying to tell Peter. Like, there aren't just good guys and bad guys. There's a bunch of gray going on here. And then enter Norman Osborn and his mob, the Enforcers. So at the time, the three mobsters I mentioned earlier, they're named Ox, Fancy Dan, and Montana.
Wow.
And so Urich shares that Osborn's hits aren't personal calculation. He works for the highest bidder.
Of course.
And, this whole theory that Uncle Ben was killed by Norman or by the Goblin crew, Urich says it was likely all business. So he's essentially saying he didn't do it to you to harm you personally. Someone paid him to do it. And so after a brief but stupid altercation with not only Osborn, but the Vulture. The two are kicked out of the club. And Yurik realizes he has a newfound responsibility to keep an eye on Peter to make sure he doesn't get into trouble. So it's then he introduces him to who else but Jameson himself, and enlists him as a junior photographer to immerse himself in the reality of what was happening to the people of the city, documenting, taking pictures. So he essentially gets him the job at the Bugle, which is, like he wasn't interested. Peter was not interested in it to begin with. Yurik got him into it to kind of distract him from being getting himself killed, essentially. And so the experience helped Peter open up to Yurik, and he shares how the goblin affected him, how Uncle Ben was murdered. And so first and foremost, I thought it was fitting to show you exactly how he enters the Bugle at all. And so immediately, in every universe, Geoffrey, in every universe, the office of J. Jonah Jameson. Parker! Sit!
Always.
Every universe.
Always.
And he looks exactly the same.
Dude, that's so funny.
Parker. So it's very interesting. And so as for the murder of Uncle Ben, oh gosh.
Rip.
So Peter is clearly very tormented by this recollection of telling people. And it's something you can tell he keeps close to his chest because in the bubbles, he even says there were rope marks. They tied him so he couldn't fight back when they beat him. Then, when he was still alive, they set wild dogs on him and they tore him apart. To which they unfortunately show Uncle Ben's corpse.
My goodness.
And his ribs are showing. He's completely mangled. And Yurik's narrative in the bubbles is, it was old news to me. I knew how he died. What I didn't know was that it was Peter who found his uncle's mutilated body.
Oh my
so
God.
It was left out of the files. And so,
oh my God.
And so with all these names that I have mentioned, right? I mentioned Goblin and Vulture. So the spoiler alert with this bad boy is that it wasn't wild dogs. It was the Vulture.
Oof.
So he, in this universe, has taken on
how does a vulture look in this universe?
He looks like Nosferatu. And this
is
yes. Which is in a departure from what he really looks like if you think about it. But he's more of a hunchback and he has this insatiable craving for human flesh.
Oh my God.
He's a cannibal in this universe.
Good lordy.
And I mention this is clearly not made for children. This series
it feels like it.
Yes, it's much more adult for the record, which is probably why I liked it because it was so much more gritty. And so that's it for the first issue. That's the coverage, but they don't tell you how he became Spider-Man.
Wow.
They just kind of lay the land of this is the setting, these are the people, this is how this happens. And so it isn't until the next issue, which thankfully isn't that long. You just get the next issue. And that's when we get a peek at Peter's origin as Spider-Man in this universe. And so photos that Yurik and Peter take make the evening edition, and Peter visits after it's hit the press, only to find a drugged out Yurik in his seat. And so you see, in this universe, again, all these people are twisted versions of themselves to some degree. Yurik means well, but he's also unfortunately a heroin addict. So he's taking the spoon, he's doing, they show it on panel, and he shoots himself up. And so he's drugged out of his mind. And then the phone rings, and it's a contact known as the Fly. And so he's like, hey, Spider, this is the Fly calling. And so you kind of discover so Ben Yurik is going by this alias, the Spider, for some reason. It's just a name. It doesn't really mean anything for him. And the Fly gives him a hot tip about Goblin's next move. And he doesn't realize he's talking to Peter at all. Because Peter's just like, yeah.
Sure.
And so the tip is that Goblin is picking up a shipment of antiques at an imports warehouse. And so Peter takes it upon himself, this is my opportunity. I can get back at the Goblin. So he decides to go and intercept. And so among the relics is a spider totem. And it's said to be cursed by the tribe that created it. People touch it, they die. And so for your satisfaction, here is the totem, Jeff. So it's a statue. It's a statue laying down in hay. Yeah. It's got nippies. And
that looks
very interesting.
Haunting.
Yeah, it's quite scary. And so it is a statue. It's a statue. And so in the midst of transporting this particular crate, these buffoons trip over their own feet and drop the totem. And hundreds of spiders start crawling out from its belly button and immediately attacks one of the goons and kills him within moments. I think it's Ox, and he's like, oh, or maybe it's the other guy, but he's like yelling, and they're just covered in he's covered in spiders, and he dies.
Yeah.
Peter, as he went to go intercept, is watching from the rafters, and so he's like, oh my god, and so he's horrified. And they tried to save the guy, did not work, and he's just mortified. Then he realizes, oh, there's a spider on my hand. And he's like, I can't make noise, because if I make noise, they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
But if I move, the spider's going to, it's going to bite me. It decides to bite him, and so it bites him. And immediately, he meets the spider totem that then bestows the power upon him.
Oh my god.
So like they prophesize, like, oh, it's a tribal spider, it's a tribal totem. So this entity comes out of the totem and then gives him the powers.
Wow.
From the bite as well.
That sounds...
Isn't it crazy how different it is?
Yeah. It's very dark.
Yeah.
Like, it's very just like TVMA adult.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I would die to see an animated series of this. It would be so good. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so great. And so Peter awakens after all is said and done. The men have left the warehouse. He's the only one there. He awakens and he's upside down, essentially cocooned in black webbing. And it's then he discovers his newfound skill set. And all he says thereafter is, well, I'll be damned. And it's with those newfound powers, Peter takes it upon himself to become a masked vigilante. First with a face mask, donning all black. So this was his first iteration.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the Daredevil outfit. Where he's kind of wearing black pants, a black shirt, some gloves, and he put a thing on his face.
Some mask on.
Yeah, and then later, he used remnants of Uncle Ben's war pilot uniform to create the fuller Spider Noir look.
Okay.
And then Peter donned it. And that's the look we now know and love. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. And then I love this panel, too. Say your prayers, Goblin. Here comes a Spider-Man.
Say your prayers, Goblin.
Give us the Nick Cage version.
Here comes the Spider-Man.
Here comes, say your prayers, Goblin. Here comes the Spider-Man. It's all right. It's all right.
That's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. We have time. And so that brings us to live action. So in live action, of course, as we know, Ben Reilly, the Spider.
Yeah.
So difference immediately. And so, of course, portrayed by Nick Cage and Sony Animation's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in 2018, and now in live action by Nick Cage in 2026's Spider Noir, developed by Oren Uziel and co-created by Steve Lightfoot. So the distinct difference in the titling. So they very much refer to the comic book version as Spider-Man and Spider-Man Noir. Mm-hmm. Nick Cage's version is just simply Spider Noir. So whether that's a trademark thing, I don't know. I don't know if they were like, you can't use Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean?
Has to be.
We don't, yeah, we have no
Has to
idea. But as we've lightly touched upon in the Spider Noir season review back in episode 134, this spider is as different as he is the same. And so, you know, we talked about this decorated military man of World War I. Mind you, that then positions him between 1914 and 1918. So Great Depression is 1930s, 1940s.
Yes.
So time change is different. And the man we presume was named Peter Parker got bitten by the secret operative experiment gone horribly wrong, aka the man spider. And so within what we presume is weeks or months after that encounter, the man, now known as Ben Reilly, developed powers like that of an arachnid and operated as the masked vigilante, the spider, until the death of his beloved Ruby. And then power and responsibility lure Ben out of retirement despite his private investigation work. And it brings out a slew of craziness that we'll probably discuss throughout the rest of this episode. So yeah.
What was the responsibility line in this show? Because it did. I don't think it said the word responsibility.
No, it was a little different. He's like, my Ruby.
My
Ruby. Let me find it really quick.
With the great, because it wasn't with great power comes great responsibility. Nope, did not say that. I'm like,
Ruby once told me that with great power comes great responsibility. So it's almost the same. It's Madam Web. It's Madame Web. That's because with no power comes no responsibility.
Not the Valley girl,
brother.
Not the Valley accent.
Yeah, dude. Like what?
I love that.
Yeah. So slightly different, still very, very similar, all things considered. But yeah, so they're like minor tweaks. Like again, he's older, and so they've taken him further back a little bit, and then his powers come across much differently. Because they're, again, I said this in our review episode, is that they seem to be foregoing the totem aspect of it all.
Yeah.
There's like, he got bit, and this guy, he got bit by an experimental spider.
Yeah.
In the war, a super secret soldier.
Yeah, that looks freaky. I can't lie to you.
I know. I saw another picture of him the other day while I was doing my homework, and I was like, oh yeah, he ugly.
He's gross.
He's scary looking. So it is very interesting dynamic because they haven't followed it page for page, panel for panel at all. Yeah. But they managed to create a very enjoyable version of this character that still feels like it's authentic, which I think Sony isn't known for, unfortunately, right? Aside Spider-Man. Yeah. Their adaptations are hit or miss, and I think they did an absolute hit with this particular version of the character, which is... Thank God, because holy moly.
You got to if Nick Cage is on board with it.
Exactly. And so, it's interesting how they are very similar, but there are some stark contrasts between them.
Nice.
Yeah. And we'll get through it as we go along here, but lest we forget, informed audiences originally know Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider from comic canon, a clone of Peter Parker created by Dr. Miles Warren, a character we've spoken about on and off throughout the show. And of course, the name is a derivative of Ben Parker and May Reilly, yet another homage to the family name. So some interesting Sony liberties going on here. It's very curious. Yeah. Because even the title, the fact that they didn't even title the show Spider-Man Noir... They could have easily done it, but they didn't. So interesting.
I know.
Yeah. So when it comes to the aesthetic of Spider-Man Noir, oh man, it's so good.
Probably one of the best.
Oh, easily one of the best. Like we're talking comic accurate. That boy is head to toe comic accurate, even in animation.
Such an easy Halloween costume.
Oh, it's so good.
I want to do it.
You should do it. It'll be quite warm if it's warm. But
it probably will. But I got to find a black trench coat.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they have a full costume now because of his popularity in Spider-Man Noir. So before we get into this, here is Peter creating the costume in the comics. And so, like I mentioned, he fashioned it together with the remnants of Uncle Ben's uniform, which makes a world of sense. So that's why he's got the goggles, and then he took the hat and made it into
the hat. Oh yeah, the hat.
Yeah. And then of course the rest of stuff is stuff he could have just gotten. But it's hard to mess up a black Spider-Man suit, trench, and fedora. And there are definitely other nuances that differ between versions, like the fabric of his mask and the outfit, but the accessories and his overall outfit are pretty similar. In the comics, he's got a leather vest with straps. But I think, again, what they did with it in live action is pretty darn spot on, all things considered. Tracy Field served as the costume designer for the live action series. And fun fact, Spider-Noir comes after previously designing the Prowler suit worn by Donald Glover for the live action sequence in Spider-Man Across the Universe. So she did that costume first and now created Nick Cage's Spider-Noir costume, which is kind of neat. I was like, all right, one Sony property to another. So that brings us to powers and paraphernalia. A quick stop on this journey. Because we know all about Spider-Man in this household. So nothing too crazy out there. But in the comics, he's got the general package of powers, spider sense, organic webbing, but black, wall crawling, superhuman strength, speed, agility, stamina, and an incredible pain threshold.
Of course, typical.
And whereas in live action, human spider physiology, which includes organic webbing generation, spider sense, and superhuman reflexes, senses, speed, stamina, and strength. So yeah, pretty easy.
Pretty standard. Pretty standard spider.
Standard spider. And so that brings us to love interests. And although both of Spidey's main leading ladies have yet to grace in live action, it's possible we may never see them beyond their comic book counterparts. That said, we won't spend too much time here, but first up, Mary Jane Watson.
In terms of this version.
In terms of this versions, yeah, like just we're talking noir, straight up noir.
Yeah.
And so MJ in noir verse, she's very much the girl next door type when we first meet her in this universe. She's brought in by Aunt May to help with her soup kitchen. So she still has a soup kitchen in that universe as well. And so it's held at the Bowery Welfare Center where Peter fails to show up due to an absolute walk of shame after he takes his relationship with Felicia Hardy.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's the main love interest in noir, which is very curious because it never happens that way. So at large, Peter ignores MJ's attention because of his fixation not only on Felicia but his life as noir. And so MJ nevertheless continues with her life. She does volunteer work. She even joins a brigade to help further the cause. So again, she's also taking on this ambitious, like light military activist role in the comic. And although they never quite get together in Noirverse, it's clear that MJ has interest in him at times because she does end up dating other people. But
yeah,
she's always like, "So, Petey," and he's like, "Yeah, sure, Felicia." He doesn't care. It's really
That's
messed up.
funny.
It's kind of wild. Yeah, he doesn't have interest in her at all. At least my take on it. I mean, compared to the love of his life, MJ in 616. You know what I mean? This Peter does not care about her. And then there's a young lady named Gwen Stacy who made her debut in Volume 4 of the comic, which just released last year, titled Spider-Man Noir, The Gwen Stacy Affair. And so, in short, Gwen goes to Peter as a PI that he is to investigate her father's death, and unfortunate for him, it appeared that Spider-Man was at fault. After 5 issues of investigating, Peter determines George Stacy was unfortunately an undercover Nazi, and if you hadn't caught on yet, they're the biggest adversary in Noirverse, given the time period. So literally everybody that could be good, they have some tie to the Nazis. I know he's just punching Nazis left and right, drinking egg creams, whatever he says.
Punching Nazis.
Punching. We're getting there. I don't remember how I got it the last time.
Dude, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so, despite coming to terms with the reality of her father's death, Gwen decides to take time away from her life in New York and from Peter. And so it was interesting because they actually formed a relationship. They started seeing each other like very seriously. And he had a very similar situation where he was conflicted with the fact that he was Spider-Man and he killed her father and she was devastated over it. So he didn't know how to handle it. But again, at the end, she discovers the truth and she still decides to leave. And so she's exited the Noirverse for now. But these are both two characters that I don't think we'll ever get to see them in Noir version.
You think?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't. I already feel like Ruby is like an homage to MJ.
Yeah.
Just because of the color, like MJ, and she's a redhead.
Sure.
But I don't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of difficult. So no crossover for them. Aside Spider-Verse, the film, like the animation versions actually kind of intersect a little bit. But even then, it's MJ's kind of there, and then Gwen is obviously a different version.
Yeah.
And Noir doesn't even clock her, so I'm assuming that Noir doesn't even have a Gwen Stacy.
Damn.
It's crazy, right?
Damn.
When you think about it. And so what's even more interesting is that in the comics, there is no Ruby J. Williams. So they have concocted this character, original for Spider Noir. And so she was portrayed by Amanda Scholl. And not much is known about Ruby in Noir, despite her handful of flashback appearances, though we do know she is the source of the trademark quote, "With great power comes great responsibility." Ruby was killed by a criminal Ben brought to justice, citing... Here we go again. Can you want to try it? Try the quote.
He killed her, but I was the reason she was dead.
Oh my God, I can't.
It's hard.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. And so that event led to Ben retiring as the Spider for some time. And aside all that, the two were engaged to be married, but unfortunate for Ben's alcoholism, that led to Ruby's abduction and then subsequent murder. So he was out getting drunk, and then the villain decided to take some revenge, and she paid for it. Then that brings us to Felicia Hardy. And so I've mentioned this across a few episodes by now, but Noir may be my favorite version of Felicia Hardy as a character. And she's not even in it that much. Let me just say that. Like, she's in it a considerable amount, but not too much. And so, very similarly, she's the owner of the popular speakeasy, The Black Cat, a hub that a spectrum of different personalities take enjoyment in. And Felicia's role is minimal at first. And so, she's simply like she is in the show. She's kind of a conduit of some criminal connections, and in the first series, that's essentially all the role she plays.
Yeah.
Welcome to my club. There are bad people here. Drink. Goodbye. That's it. But by the second...
Sounds like my kind of time.
Like, hey. But by the second series, she's in a full-blown relationship with Peter, and she knows that he's the Spider. So she is fully aware, but she's still like, it's fine. We're good.
Yeah.
And so Felicia's connection to the criminal underworld goes far deeper than expected. So not only had she been dating Ben Urich, at one point she got involved with a man simply known as Sammy, the crime master.
That's okay. Sure.
The crime master. It's so funny because you just know him as the crime master for like issues. And then out of nowhere, but Sammy. And you're like, Sammy? And so upon realizing that Felicia had been potentially playing him and hooking up with Peter on the side, Sammy then attempts to murder Felicia through domestic violence. She's thankfully found and recovers for like months or years. I don't know what the time gap is, but I've mentioned this too, she's scarred beyond belief. So she was not only beaten and broken, he pretty much like broke her leg, broke her arm.
Oh my God.
He scarred her face with a broken bottle.
Yes.
And so she voluntarily wears a mask to cover her face. Because she just disgusted with herself, essentially. Because, she was beautiful. She was one of the most beautiful women in the city. And so it was a big blow to her, and for a number of reasons. Because not only did she lose Peter, but she lost like everything, all that credibility she built up. And then after the incident, Felicia's entirely hesitant to see Peter at all, let alone aid him in his work. So she went from like giving him hot tips and, like, a little more than that.
Of course.
From completely like, do not talk to me.
Of course.
Like she won't even see him type of deal.
Oh my God.
But the duo teamed up in an arc titled Spider-Geddon, where Felicia took on the moniker White Widow. Yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting. Yeah, so it's actually it's like a motion comic, if you will. Like you can watch it on YouTube. It didn't actually happen in a physical comic, but yeah, she's in all white. She's wearing her mask. And of course, if you know anything about White Widow, that's actually Yelena Belova's widow name. So it's really interesting. And last but not least, Peter actually died in the Spider-Geddon title itself, only to be revived in another. But that was it, as of his latest title solo series, they have yet to be reunited. So she hasn't showed up after that. She's in the ether somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that brings us to Cat Hardy, again portrayed by Lee Jun Lee in Spider Noir. So yeah, when it comes to Cat Hardy, she's a showstopper, definitely reminiscent of the dame of that period, right? Mm-hmm. Living luxurious life. And so it is interesting that the Cat in the show, her entire life has been built up financially through the investments of Silvermane.
Yes.
So that's how she got there in the first place. And similar to her comic book counterpart, Cat is a nightclub singer at the aptly named Black Cat.
Love that.
And she's tangled up in the criminal underworld, just like Felicia was. And so while Felicia had Crime Master, Cat had Flint Marco, who we'll be discussing further down the line. But nevertheless, life got complicated once her lover begins to mutate and then goes missing. And then all the while, Cat seeks to get Silvermane killed, enlisting the help of a man named Addison, who set fire to the mobster's mansion and failed. And Cat just wanted to be free of Silvermane. Like, that's essentially the bottom line. She's like, he made me who I am, but he does nothing but try to control my life. I want him dead. And I want to be with Flint. And so that's essentially it. And then, of course, that led her to go to Ben to find Flint to do all these things. And then she uncovered Ben's identity as the spider because she's a clever girl. And although she sold Ben out to benefit Flint, it's clear that Kat had genuine feelings for Ben, but the two are clearly a recipe for disaster after disaster after disaster. And it's noted that Kat's character was inspired by actresses Anna May Wong, Rita Hayworth, Lauren Bacall, and Kim Basinger. Because what's that movie? Wasn't it Mob? I can't remember what it's called.
Like an old mom movie?
It's like 90s. It was, height of Kim Basinger.
Sure, yeah.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Kim Basinger.
LA Confidential?
LA Confidential. Yeah, I think it's based off of LA Confidential.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, interesting. So, again, she's very similar to Felicia in every way, but the storyline itself is different. So I see what Sony's doing, but you know what? I like what they're cooking, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's A-okay. So that brings us to family, friends, and affiliations. So honorable mentions to Aunt May, because it's the same story, different day. We're not going to talk about her.
Always.
And also Ben Urich, who we spoke about up top. And so there's no Sony Spider-Man universe version of the character. But perhaps for the sake of keeping it all to one Ben, maybe that's why they chose not to put him in. Because as we know, Ben Urich is in Daredevil.
Yes.
In the MCU.
Yes.
So maybe that's...
no point.
Yeah.
Avoid confusion.
They were like, no, let's pass and let's just do something else. And so Ben Urich otherwise appeared in live action portrayed by Joey Pants. Joey Pants in 2003's Daredevil, and by Von D. Curtis Hall in the Daredevil series, while Rosemary Harris, Sally Field, and Marissa Tomei portrayed May Parker. So we are going to talk about a couple of people here. And so the first one is Joseph Robbie Robertson. So very interesting version in the comics. I forgot how Robbie's story went in comic canon. And so he's a pretty stacked character that we could actually talk about on his own, because he's quite different in, across the universes. But Robbie doesn't enter Noirverse until Volume 2, Eyes Without a Face, where he's introduced as a struggling reporter on the beat. One of his main focuses is on Otto Octavius and Kurt Connors.
Of course.
Both new entries of the Noirverse at that point. And so I gotta show you, man. So, I mean, if you thought Vulture was one thing. So, Otto Octavius, give me a quick 5-second, what do you think he would look like in Noir?
Oh my gosh. A crew neck? Or I'm not, sorry, not a crew neck. A turtleneck?
Okay.
A turtleneck?
Sure.
I'm like thinking of Insomniac, but just in like Insomniac one, just noir out.
Okay.
I would assume.
Oh man.
Trench coat, flared coat.
What about his tentacles?
The way his tentacles would look in noir style?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, because they did pretty. Oh, gosh.
Just give me a dream up.
I don't even know how it would look, like ropes. I don't know.
Interesting. So, for clarity purposes, Doc Connors is pretty commonplace. He's a white dude with black hair. He's missing an arm.
Okay.
Sure, whatever. Doc Ock, however, he is a shriveled up, not quite baked type of a man.
Oh my gosh.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. And he has a wheelchair with 8 arms, mechanical arms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely not what I would.
Isn't that interesting, though? What a take.
Yeah.
What a take.
It's almost like non-threatening.
Almost, right? You would think.
It just looks scary.
But he looks scary. But the things he does...
It's crazy.
Oh, Jeff.
Wow.
Dude. Okay, so...
Wow.
What gets Robbie into real heat is his work on white supremacists. So mind you, the canonical version of noir is far more ingrained in U.S. history than its live-action counterpart. And so... they use a lot of terminology and history in this comic that they even give you a forewarning that this comic contains racist content.
Wow.
they have to warn people because, yes, it uses antiquated terms for Black Americans. It even notes the KKK and the Nazis in the pages. And so, as for Robbie, oh God, do I have the screenshot here? Oh, blessed be. I don't think I have the screenshot, but you're going to be able to put it together. So Robbie, however, he came to learn that Octavius, who we will discuss a little bit later, experimented on Robbie, rendering him non-communicative and a near vegetable because what Doc Ock used to do... Oh, we'll save it. We'll save it for a few minutes. Yeah. So hold on to that. So basically, Octavius did something to Robbie that made him vegetative. So he went from being like a quick-witted like journalist, like imagine Lamorne, to like a vegetable. Like he can't even speak. He can only understand, and he does things like erratically. It's crazy. So, speaking of Lamorne, that brings us to Joseph Robbie Robertson in live action, portrayed by Lamorne Morris in Spider-Noir, previously portrayed by Hilly Hicks in 1977's The Amazing Spider-Man TV series, then Bill Nunn in the Raimi trilogy. So we've seen a lot of this character already, but this is certainly the first time we've seen him as Noir. So pretty basic stuff as we've seen. He's often portrayed as a level-headed lead at the Bugle, especially with J.K. Simmons' J. Jonah Jameson in the Raimi films. So he's always that guy where Jameson's going crazy and he's like, JJ, why don't you settle down a bit and think about... I don't know, I turn into Ben Grimm every time. But like the one in the Raimi films, right? He's always the calm, collected guy, brings him down. But Lamorne's version is truly the first fleshed out version of this character where we spend more time with him beyond the Bugle. Okay. Like you think about that, right? You're like, oh, that's straight. Like we've never seen a Robbie Robertson that wasn't just in and out in the Bugle. So Lamorne, he takes him like levels deeper, which is amazing. And so he's especially when we spend more time with him, he's attempting to find these juicy stories, right, to help advance his career as a journalist. Like what you had mentioned in our review episode, he's out in the field. He's in the middle of a fight. He's snapping pictures for the people. He's doing all the good stuff, and so Robbie provides a great balance for Ben as well, playing positive for Ben's generally cynical disposition. Yeah. So he even knows that he's a spider. Like for a journalist, like that could get him the job of jobs, a dream job, and he still is able to keep that secret for him. And regarding said secret identity, Lamorne Morris best described how and why Robbie keeps the secret. So he is quoted in an interview saying, "Their friendship kind of started on a negotiation. Robbie, being such a great journalist, gets the scoop. So he found out who the spider was immediately and said, hey, listen, I'll take some photos of you. I'll write some good stuff about you. And this way, as a black man in the 1930s, I'll have a job. It's an even exchange." So we definitely went over that a little bit. Yeah. So he bartered with Peter. He bartered with Ben to be like, look, I just want a job. Yeah. I'm not going to tell your secrets, but let's do something so I can get something, which makes total sense. And I think it says a lot about the character. It's great. And of course, by the end of the series, and even after posing as Spider himself, it's still so
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's still the greatest. So good. Oh. Ben left his place at the Daily Bugle to lead the Harlem Herald. Nice. So that was the transition. I couldn't remember what paper it was, but it was the Harlem Herald. So good for him. Still one of my favorite characters in that series. Like dead.
He was really good.
He was tremendous. So that brings us to Janet Ruiz. And so,
Janet.
Although there is an existing character in the comics by the same name, it's hardly a homage.
It's different.
It's maybe a possible Easter egg, but even then, that's a stretch. So in the comics, Janet Ruiz played an incredibly minor role in a 1997 series called Code of Honor, a title similar to 1994's Marvels series, created by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. And so Marvels followed a journalist through major events in canon history, while Code of Honor did the same, but from a New York cop's perspective. It's really cool. It's a really cool, like, to see that, like, if it was a regular person watching Gwen Stacy get thrown off a bridge. That's the type of storytelling they were doing.
Yeah.
And so Janet Ruiz has like a panel or two in one of these issues. Otherwise, no ties to the Noirverse, let alone Spider-Man Noir. And so, of course, that brings us to the live-action version portrayed by Karen Rodriguez. What more can be said? She's been savvy, quick-witted secretary. And let's face it, she's a partner in private investigating. She's very much his partner from the get-go. And best described by showrunner Oren Uziel himself, he likened Janet to Effie Peronine from 1941's The Maltese Falcon, a character that can, quote-unquote, be helpful, that the PI can lean on, that can be hard on him, but loves him. And that's exactly what Janet does for Ben. Exactly what she does. And Janet's importance is riddled throughout each and every episode, playing an almost conscience-like role in Ben's life. Yeah, I think she was such a good balance for everything that was happening in that series. And the way she would come in. And again, that whole... the drunken stupor montage is one of the best in TV.
It's like, so...
I'm a spider.
I'm a spider. That's good. That was good.
I'm a spider.
Janet, look away. I'm a
Look away.
I'm a spider. Don't tell anyone, but I'm a spider.
It's so funny. Like, I know. You told me.
What?
It's so funny. It is so good. And so, of course, it paid off in the end because as Ben's PI operation was then updated, it said Reilly and Ruiz investigations at the end of season 1. Yeah, it's not over, y'all. It's not over. But fun fact, more than 1,300 auditions were held for Janet's role before casting directors landed with Karen Rodriguez. It was so important to cast the right person in that role that 1,300 auditions later, they finally chose somebody.
That's crazy.
Nutty. Considering you hear stories like Millie, who didn't even audition for Supergirl. Like, James Gunn was like, you have this role. Like, it's yours. Just take it. Then you have Janet Ruiz. I gotta go through 1,300.
It's crazy. The process is crazy.
It's so wild, but damn, it was worth it because she's incredible. So that brings us to notable adversaries. Again, this is another place where we could have gone ham, but I'm going to keep it to the folks who are in the show first and foremost. And so that brings us to, first stop, Dirk Layden, aka Megawatt. And so no crossover in the comics. However, the character very much exists in general continuity. So funny enough, Megawatt was a former Australian convict turned actor turned supervillain who had the ability to store and release large amounts of electricity. So just FYI, there's no noir version. There's only 616. And so after his gig as a supervillain flopped, he returned to acting and became an international superstar.
Wow.
This is crazy.
That is what
so
a life.
Different. So different, yeah. And so in Spider Noir, Dirk Layden Megawatt is portrayed by Andrew Lewis Caldwell, and he was originally confused for Electro by many, including yours truly.
Of course.
And so Megawatt played a smaller role compared to his counterpart in the series, though still held his own, simply a villain of the day. He was really much like this is my time to shine, and then just like electrified everybody. He didn't play as much of a... He was no Flint Marko or Lonnie Lincoln, that's for sure. And of course, it goes without saying, all of the henchmen were referred to as metahumans in the series. So he was very much one of those metahumans. And so that brings us to Alonzo Lonnie Lincoln Tombstone. So funny enough, although Tombstone exists in Noir, he isn't present in the Spider-Man title. Instead, he comes from Luke Cage Noir.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they imported him for the show.
Wow.
And so in Noirverse, Tombstone is an albino born and raised in 1940s Harlem.
Interesting.
Lonnie, I forgot about this part. I was like, I know I've read him, but where was he? And I was like, oh, he's in Luke Cage. And so Lonnie was an old friend, quote unquote, of Luke's, whose rough life led him to the world of crime. So his scleroderma didn't help either, but it did empower him with impenetrable stone-like skin. So essentially what happens is you got this kid born who's like almost Snow White, like gravestone white.
Yeah.
Born to two black parents in Harlem in 1930s, 40s.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's no chance, right?
Yeah.
And so his mother accepted him, but his father is just straight up like, you're not my kid. You're weak. Get out of here. And horrible life. And so, he became Tombstone after all of that. And so Luke Cage has his own track in the noir verse. So he has his own storyline. It doesn't intersect. It doesn't do any of this crazy crossover stuff. They're just in the same universe, having their own stories. And so Tombstone in that universe happened to be a recurring pain in the ass for Luke Cage through it all. But he meets his fate in the final issue of the series after messing with the wrong woman. Luke stabs him with an embalming needle and fills him until he literally explodes. So he found a way.
Yeah.
You can't kill Tombstone, but like Luke, because Luke is also incredibly strong and impenetrable himself, he literally takes, I don't know if you've seen an embalming thing.
Yeah.
The needles are like this
long.
Yeah, they're super long, super thick.
Yeah.
And if you stab it into somebody and you just turn on that juice, and it's gross because he had him behind like a door. He like literally closed the door on him, and so he just started. It was straight out of a Batman movie.
Yeah.
He started filling up, and then he just pops. There's just blood all over the screen.
I don't like
Yeah,
that.
he died in a horrific way in the comics.
Ugh.
And then, of course, a very different story when we talk about live action, where he's portrayed by Abraham Popoola. And so, on the slightly elevated side of the villain roster,
Yeah.
Lonnie was Marco's friend, as well as one of Silvermane's henchmen. Slightly different from his canonical counterpart. They notably gave Lonnie a crocodile-like skin, which accounted for his near indestructible armor in Spider-Noir. And although they served in the same war, the henchmen weren't directly associated with Ben at the time. Like, they weren't friends. They didn't know each other.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and so until their powers started manifesting much later. And of course, Lonnie is the first of the henchmen cured, thanks to Robbie's quick thinking in the heat of a fight. Talking about stabbing, he stabbed him in the eye with that needle and cured Tombstone. And then Lonnie left the city soon after and on the right side of history. So he did himself good, and then he was like, all right, peace out. And he's done. It's a good story. Certainly much nicer than his comic book counterpart.
Agreed.
And then that brings us to Flint Marko, Sandman. And so Flint is another character that doesn't appear in Noir until Volume 2, Eyes Without a Face, playing a relatively small part as one of the Enforcer henchmen. His offenses included, this is ironic and irony in the greatest sense, because the Sandman we know,
Yes.
I always think of Spider-Man 3, right? Oh,
Easily.
he's doing it for his daughter and all that good stuff, right? In Noir verse, Flint Marko, his offenses included being wanted in 3 states, kidnapping,
Oh my God.
assault, and murder.
Ooh.
So much, it's like the same but different.
Same. Different.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the intentions are probably far worse in the comic than they are in the regular 616.
Yes.
And so Flint never quite reaches main villain status. He first helped transport victims who become Octavius's test subjects, and then he aided the crime master. So he's kind of like the guy, but he's never the main
Liaison,
villain.
middleman.
Yeah, essentially the middleman. And so we otherwise don't see too much of Flint aside when he beats the absolute tar out of Peter after his quest to find Robbie in issue 3 of Eyes Without a Face, where Flint is gunned down by police after his horrific act. So, I have a screenshot of that because it's nutty. And, it's funny. I mean, speaking of similarities, you only know that this is Flint Marko because of the trademark turtleneck. So he looks like himself. He's got the green striped turtleneck.
Green stripe, yes.
And so he quite literally, they get in a fight with Peter as Noir, and he beats the living hell out of him. And so in the next page, I didn't screenshot the next page, but he beats him so bad. Like they really destroy this kid. His mask starts ripping, and his goggles are shattered. And Flint's got remnants of the glass in his like knuckles and stuff. And then the police shoot him down.
Yeah.
He dies. And so very quickly, I wanted to mention the thing about Octavius. And so although we don't have anything to discuss about Octavius in terms of noir live action, at least not yet, he plays a pretty big part in Volume 2 on his own, experimenting on monkeys and the concept of mind control. So what he was doing was he was severing the skulls of monkeys and exposing the brain. And they show all this, by the way. They show it. Dude. And he has their exposed brains, and he's literally tinkering around just trying to figure stuff out. And so, unfortunate for Robbie, he got something to that effect where he got like a... You know how they used to do in the olden days where they would use that thing and go ding, ding?
Yeah.
He essentially did that to Robbie.
Yeah.
I know, it's really gross. And so back to his physicality, the way he looks, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, but he is a what would you even call it? Underdeveloped man, right?
Okay.
He's not fully, again, he's not like a tall stature, fully formed human being. And so after all was said and done, he got deported to Germany for his offenses, okay?
Oh my gosh.
And you gotta remember, this is the Great Depression era and the land of the Nazis. So when he got deported, the Nazis dubbed him inferior because he was not the perfect white human, right?
Yeah.
Right? You know,
Yeah, sure.
And they considered him useless because of his disabilities and his general appearance. And they just, I think they either killed him or they put him away in prison. So he did it all for nothing.
Oh my God.
He was trying to go for the Nazis and root for the Nazis. Nothing.
Nazis.
Immediately were like, nah, you're deformed. And so, Octavius met his end there. But back to Flint Marko, of course, in live action, portrayed by Jack Huston in Spider-Noir, previously portrayed by Thomas Hayden Church in Spider-Man 3, as well as Spider-Man No Way Home. And so... yeah, Flint is one of the primary antagonists in the series. Mm-hmm. And not only is he Cat Hardy's bodyguard, but also her lover. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. She?
Yeah, she.
And one of Silvermane's henchmen. And like Lonnie, served during the war that changed all their lives. And his mutation manifested with granules of sand, like the iconic Sandman we're familiar with now. Flint plays an interesting part in it all because of his connection to Cat. First, he was the aggressor to Ben, and then he's enlisted by Cat to then find Marko when he goes missing, though he's one of Silvermane's henchmen, and then that connects them all. And it's like, they really tried to harp on the web aspect. It's a tangled web. It's a tangled web.
It's a tangled web,
web.
It's me, up to me to untangle it.
So it's like, it's kind of like one way or another, they were all meant to intersect in some way.
Yeah.
And of course, the cure for the mutations is a huge aspect that threads the henchman with Ben to begin with. And thankfully for Flint, he was able to be cured of his Sandman state. I think they kind of underplayed that because Tombstone was the big cure, like for them, because getting stabbed in the eye is certainly something to write home about. But I feel like they could have played it up a little more. But you get the sense, like, oh, he's cured now. Now they're together. Now they can be together.
They
and
can
Silvermane's
be happy.
dead. They can be happy. So I don't think Flint is as a character we'll see again if they indeed go through with season 2, and I think that they will introduce other
more
villains.
characters. Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, they did such a good job.
You got to.
They gots to. So that brings us to Silvio Manfredi in the comics, aka Silvermane. So we briefly mentioned this in our Noir season review, but although he does exist in the comics, there is no Noir version of this particular character. Known as Silvio Manfredi in Earth 616, his base characteristics are very similar. He's a crime boss, a prominent figure of the Magia. Oh man, you hear a lot about the Magia.
Yeah.
Marvel's own fictional crime syndicate, which has also included Hammerhead, Count Nefaria, and his daughter, Madame Mask. So all these characters are in the Magia. It was like a big thing in, like, I want to say the 90s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were the it boys and girls. And so the story is very different on the live action side because we have Finburn. aka Silverman, portrayed by Brendan Gleeson. And so a similar but different story over in live action, because while the comic canon version of the character is Italian, the one in Spider Noir is very much an Irish mob boss by the same name. So other than the fact that they have those same attributes, the heritage and the background's a bit different. And as we've discussed throughout this episode, Silvermane has ties to practically each and every character in Spider Noir, one way or another, having been a prominent figurehead in the criminal underworld and those who reside in it. What I thought was interesting was that I was waiting, maybe I missed this, but I don't think I did. I was waiting for them to be like, oh, Silvermane's man killed Ruby. But they never.
Oh, they never like.
They never imply that at all.
Never, yeah. Like we don't know who. We just know people.
Yeah, it was just some dude that he put away, that Ben put away.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting because
there's no connection.
There's no connection, and I think that's the right move.
Yeah.
For the record, because then it doesn't turn into a revenge plot or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Silvermane played a really compelling villain that was perfect for that particular setting.
Oh yeah, like master manipulator type of deal.
Exactly.
Like everyone's under his guise type of thing.
He's his own kingpin for the Great Depression era. And of course, as we know, at the end of it all, Kat had the distinguished pleasure of offing Silvermane herself with like 7 shots to the chest, I think. She popped him. Yeah, she unloaded that entire clip on him. And every right, because he kind of ruined her life as much as he contributed to it. Other versions and in other media. There's a lot to talk about here, but we're just going to kind of skim the surface. In video games. Oh man, I think I've mentioned this game to you before, and I hope you get to play it somehow. But it's an icon of its own. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Heard of it. Oh yeah, that's the one where that iconic meme comes from, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like sad Spider-Man walking.
Yeah, and it's I believe it's also. Oh, yeah. So it was a 2010 video game released by Activision, and it featured Spider-Man 2099, Traditional Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, and Ultimate Spider-Man. Not to be confused with Miles Morales. There's also an Ultimate Peter Parker. And so they were voiced by Neil Patrick Harris as Spider-Man 616,
Crazy.
Christopher Daniel Barnes as Spider-Man Noir, Dan Gilvezan as Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, and Josh Keaton as Ultimate Spider-Man. And so, of course, it's worth noting that both Christopher and Josh are notable actors in the Spider-Man universe. And so Christopher Daniel Barnes voiced Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man animated series in the 90s. That was the counterpart for X-Men 92. And Josh has voiced the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series, as well as OG Peter Parker in many other video games, not to mention a fair share of villains as well. He even played Max Dillon, aka Electro, in Insomniac's Spider-Man. These guys are all over the board. And
That's
to top it all
crazy.
off, Josh Keaton is also Iron Man in Marvel Rivals.
Holy crap.
He's living
Wow.
good. He's versatile as hell.
Hell
guy.
yeah.
He's really good. And so Josh Keaton actually will return as Spider-Man in the upcoming game, Marvel Talkin. So the fighting game. He's coming back for Spider-Man. He's taking it from Yuri Lowenthal. He's like, no, it's mine again. But yeah, all these guys are they're in this game. And unfortunate for us as a humanity,
Yeah.
Activision discontinued printing this game ages ago. So if you don't have it,
It's gone for
it's going to be very expensive. And it's on PS 3,
Yeah.
maybe 2.
So hard to even play it.
It's difficult, yeah. So given the state of games, it's going to be difficult either way.
Yeah.
But hey, man, if you get a chance to play this game, do it. And I got to say, no, all biases aside, the noir stage is so fresh. It's so cool because it's in noir sepia tones.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the game is in color. It's so cool. And then, of course, animation. We would be remiss to not mention Nick Cage's work as Spider-Noir in the Spider-Verse animated films. And so his origin is a bit more simplified in animated form, and it makes sense because he's got the base of Peter Parker, Depression era format, down to the T. And in that Peter's universe, Uncle Ben was the one who served in World War I, and then he passed away sometime later in the timeline. Then Peter was bit by the radioactive spider, and like many of the other spider personas, he did his thing as Spider-Man.
The Spider.
Yeah, love him. Can't wait to see what he does in the third film. Yeah, he's my favorite Spider-Man. So it's no notes. 10/10, perfect. He's perfect in my
the best.
eyes. Every version, I love him in every universe. So almost was. While the rumors regarding casting on this show are simply just that, rumors, it's said that the likes of Jake Gyllenhaal, Ewan McGregor, Mads Mikkelsen, Oscar Isaac, John Hamm, Timothy Olyphant, Boyd Holbrook, and Walter Goggins were all considered or auditioned for the role.
That is crazy.
Only for them to lose it to Nick Cage because his participation in production. So he was like, I'm a producer. I'm going to play this role. But I mean, It made sense. But that's a long list of
it is
relatively
pretty big stars.
Big stars.
Known stars, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Wow.
incredible. And Nick Cage had it from the go, which isn't surprising.
Yeah.
So for the future of the character of the MCU, okay, I mean, this character is designated Sony Spider-Man universe.
Yes.
So it's very possible it won't be the last time we've seen him, as even Nick Cage has expressed some interest in continuing Ben's story one way or another. But what do you think?
I think, I mean, like, it was released all in one day, right?
Yeah.
People probably binged it, and it probably wasn't talked about. Like, I even saw, like, on Twitter and everything, it's like, holy crap! Like, Spider-Man Noir is out
for ages. Oh yeah.
Or just like no one's talking about this really.
Yeah.
And I think I felt it did pretty well, and I thought it had a good foundation. So I could see them doing a season 2, but that's probably as far as they keep it. Season
2 or
just
series?
like as a series, as a show. It doesn't really go anywhere farther. Obviously, we're gonna see him again in beyond the Spider-Verse in the next one. But other than that, that's it's Sony.
Yeah, I know. I hate that I come back to that.
Like they gatekeep their own characters.
Yeah, they really do. And it's like you can't even debunk that. They literally do that.
Yeah.
The fact that it's this good, and we said this before, the fact that it's this good.
Yeah, like if it's not making them money, which obviously I get, it's it's an afterthought for them. So I don't know how it did for them.
Yeah, that's very true, especially considering, again, it debuted on MGM Plus.
Yeah.
And not even streaming, but live TV streaming. Then it bounced to Amazon Prime. So what is their cut from all of that?
Yeah.
After all is said and done, like, because they don't. I mean, they certainly don't own Amazon, but is Sony and MGM?
Like, what deal do you have?
Yeah,
I don't
what
know.
kind of deal? I don't know. But yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Like, I don't know. I just hope season 2, if and when it happens, can live up to half the potential of season 1.
That's all you can ask for.
That's literally, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
Because again, it's Sony. And then in animated, in the animation space, I feel like after Spider-Man, Spider-Verse 3, like that could very well be the last time we see that character.
It probably will.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't think they're going to be like, oh, we should give him an animated. No, they're not going to do that. They have Spider-Man already. They've done so much with Peter. They have so much room to do with Miles, even after these films, that they don't need to harp on Noir. They could go Penny and Gwen if they need to.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm content. I'm glad that I got Spider-Man Noir in live action in my lifetime.
Yes.
But I don't expect too much after that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
It's just, there's not much.
We're lucky, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're lucky it happened.
And the fact that like Nick Cage doing it too.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's doing a live action version of it. It's like,
generational talent. And so suggested reading. This is pretty easy because there isn't much for Spider Noir, honestly. So all of the Noir series, Noir has not just one, but 4 solo titles to his name as of 2025, and has made a number of guest appearances across Spider-Verse books. The first and second solo titles are my favorites, but 3 and 4 are pretty good reads too, especially for cameos of noir versions of other classic villains. Like Electro does show up eventually, and he's like, what you can imagine, he's got little tiny glasses, goggles, and he's got like a backpack, and he's got 2 rods that like shoot electricity, and it's fun. It's all fun stuff. They're less dark though, I will say. 1 and 2 are dark, and then 3 and 4 are like, they're kind of dark. They're still lighthearted in a way, but yeah. And then of course there's Edge of the Spider-Verse series and arcs. So that was the original culmination of the characters being introduced one by one. So that was Penny Parker, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Ham, etc. And they all eventually teamed up for the Spider-Verse event that crossed multiple titles in the greater Spider-Man universe. It was super iconic. This is the one that Dan Slott had a lot to do with. Pretty amazing. And an honorable mention for Spider-Geddon. It feels a bit redundant after mentioning Spider-Verse, but the Spider-Geddon events in particular are so tremendous due to all the spiders involved. So it's another one for the pile, but fair warning, he dies in issue 1. So... he doesn't get far. Yeah. And, you know, they're like, he died honorably. Like Gwen goes to, Spider-Gwen goes to Felicia, and Mary Jane is like, oh, he died nobly. And they were like, oh, thanks. And then he's just gone for the rest of the series.
Oh, gosh.
But of course, again, he's resurrected, etc. Oh, so shock. But yeah, it's good times. So with all that said, that's the end of the show. Thanks for listening. Next episode. So as we snap back to the land of Daredevil ahead of our San Diego Comic-Con recap episode, please join us for our next character study as we discuss who quite possibly may be one of Geoffrey's new wifeys.
I mean, love her.
On the parameter.
Yes.
Kind of.
She's floating.
Okay. She's in the ether.
She's in the ether.
But she's not on the list.
She's on the radar.
On your radar. Yeah, so tune in 2 weeks as we finally discuss Karen Page.
Oh, wow. A lot of content on that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, not too much. It's more live action than the comics. Yeah, for sure.
Sense.
But you'll have some great surprises for you. And thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, and a special We Are Groot salute to Joe Liz, Andrew, Nat, Sherry, Ed, Chris, Katie, Robin, Laura, Jenny, Melanie, Andrea, Tyler, and Ashley. Follow us on social at STRKCNTRST. If you experienced ads during this episode, you can unlock an ad-free version of the podcast by supporting us on Patreon. And if you like what you hear, review, rate, and subscribe.
Once again, thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
It's 1933, and I'm a private eye. I like to drink egg creams, and I like to fight Nazis. A lot. Sometimes I let matches burn down to my fingertips just to feel something, anything. Oh.